Could a slowing economy be starting to slow McCain, who voted against those Bush tax cuts? Andy Roth says yes, he is with the Club for Growth, but Allison Kasich disagrees. She is with the Independent Women's Voice. So, Andy, you think that vote, those twin opposition votes, could come back to haunt him in Florida?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, he doesn't have credibility with fiscal conservatives. He voted against 2001, voted against 2003, continues to say that he voted correctly when he voted no on those, but at the same time, he's talking about how he wants to make the Bush tax cuts permanent. The message from him is confusing, and people don't get it, and that's why people don't trust him.
Allison, what do you make of that?
Well, I mean, I understand that a lot of people have mixed feelings towards McCain, but let's give him credit where credit is due. There are a variety of issues that he is very strong on from a fiscal standpoint. He's been one of the biggest supporters of getting government spending under control. He supports free trade and school choice, and I think that most importantly, he's not afraid to speak out against wasteful government programs, even when it's not to his advantage. You saw this in Iowa, where he spoke out against ethanol subsidies in a state that's directly benefiting from those subsidies. So I think that people like that authenticity.
Andy Roth, is it your concern that a Senator McCain, as a President McCain, would be loath to tax cuts? His key to opposing the president's 2 rounds of tax cuts was that they were not accompanied by spending cuts, and the deficits spiraled out of control.
Right.
What do you make of that?
That's actually not true. He says that that was his reason for voting against those tax cuts, but he was right there with Ted Kennedy and Tom Daschle using class warfare rhetoric. And he still believes in keeping the death tax. He says he wants to keep the Bush tax cuts permanent, but part of the 2001 Bush tax cuts was repealing the death tax. He wants to keep it for the same reason that he voted against the Bush tax cuts, is because he has this class warfare mentality that the liberals do.
All right, Allison, there is a discomfort among fiscal conservatives in the Republican Party who worry that McCain really doesn't have the religion, if you will, and that could come back to worry them if he became president. How do you reassure them that he's not that bad?
Look, I think we can't make the perfect the enemy of the good here. There is no perfect candidate, and John McCain's no exception to that. But you have to look at the overall package, and I think it comes down to voters' priorities. And I think that it's perfectly reasonable that a lot of fiscal conservatives would place a higher emphasis, given the political climate, on getting government spending back under control than they do on someone that has a perfect record on taxes.
But would you argue, Allison, now we're taking a look at a Rasmussen poll, there are others that show the lead back and forth, most with McCain out front, but on this issue of the economy, Romney tends to score better than any of the other candidates. Could that boomerang on John McCain? What do you think?
Well, I think that's a big asset for the Romney campaign. He has that sort of that businessman background that speaks to a lot of people, and I think that he can come in and fix the challenges that we're facing with the economy. But, I don't think McCain's record is all that bad. I mean, he did have a couple bad votes, but the overall package, I still think, is pretty good. So fiscal conservatives have a lot of good options, and, we'll just have to wait and see who they vote for.
Neil, taxes are a big deal right now. I mean, look at what's happening in the international markets, all because of the weak stimulus package that Bush announced last week. Taxes are a big deal. If you don't get that right, you can lose trillions of dollars in market capitalization and net worth in international markets. Taxes are a very big deal.
Well, I don't know if they're selling off because the package is weak, maybe because there's a package period, but we can debate that ad nauseum. But Andy, Allison, I want to thank you both.
Thanks, Neil.